Hi guys, my name's Kayla. Welcome to our live chat of the day from the San Antonio Zoo. Right now we are in our Africa Live aviary. We caught a break in the rain, so everyone looks a little wet, but they are excited for their afternoon bug toss. We do bug toss in this exhibit every day, usually around 3 o'clock. So let me show you what I have. Everyone's really excited. We have some crickets. We feed all of our bugs live as to encourage that natural hunting behavior that all animals do, and even our ducks love crickets. So if you're out at a picnic, take some crickets. We also have some mealworms and waxworms. This will entice some of our smaller birds to come down, and you can see them. We have lots of variety here in our African aviary, as well as some larger superworms. And these are for some of our bigger guys who are a little bit shyer, but sometimes they do grace us with their presence. And the piece de resistance, pinkies. We do have some meat eaters here in our Africa aviary, as well as fruit eaters. So we have to give them their lovely days of steak every day. We do have some racket-tailed rollers that hopefully will come down and grab it out of the air. So if they're down, you might get to see some aerial dynamics. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get everybody's attention. Usually once we start tossing out those bugs, everybody kind of comes down. Right now we have Nancy here. We call her Nancy because she's a nosy Nancy. It's getting to be that breeding season time, and you can see she loves her waxworms. Waxworms are fatty donuts, is what I like to call them, and they are full of nutritional values. You've heard that call earlier, those are our Hadada ibises, and here is a blue-bellied roller, the brown head and the blue body. We have 3 of them. If I can get them. They each get a little pinky. So here we go, they're all lining up over here. We've got a white-faced whistling duck. We've got a buff-crested buster, the guy that looks a little bit like an ostrich. All of our shiny, small birds are starlings. We have 6 different species of starlings. And then our yellow guy, that is our golden Tibetan weaver. They are called weavers because they build wonderful nests, and they are really good weavers, which is how they got their name, weavers. We also have a spur-wing plover, that long-legged ground buck guy, and then we have coming down the steps, we have a Kenyan-crested guinea fowl. This is one of our ladies, and they love their bug time. Let's see. We also have on the rope fence over here these black and white vocal guys. They are Magpie Stripes. A cool thing that they will do in the wild is they will spear a grasshopper on a tree. The grasshoppers carry toxins, and so it takes a couple days for the toxins to get out of their system. We have Nancy being a weird parrot on the ground. So let's see if we can get up here and get some of these rollers and get their pinkies. No? Oh, they're being lazy. Ready? Super lazy today. It was just rainy, so everyone's being super lazy. We also have a hammertop somewhere in here today. We have our racket-tailed roller here behind us. He's sitting in a branch in this tree. Let's see if we can get his attention. And he got it. So he grabbed it and took it to go. So that is a cool flying behavior that all rollers will do. They're very aerodynamic, and they grab their food and take it to go, is what I say. We also have some fruit kebabs over by our big tree. We also have some pigeons You can see a Bruce's green pigeon is enjoying a banana right now. They are a very lucrative species because they like to spend most of their time up in the trees, and they love figs. So a cool thing we'll do here at the zoo is we have a couple of native fig trees around. We will pick those figs off the trees and we'll actually incorporate it in the diet. So that's not something that they get year round, but definitely something that they do enjoy. That was our Hadada ibis again. They got their name because they sound just like that sound. They sound Hadada. So it's a cool thing. Birds usually get their, or animals usually get their names from either physical attributes or something that they do. So let's see if we can get that racket-tail roller again. He's back in that tree. So he saw, if you were able to, he grabbed it and took it to go. Maybe see if my roller crossed the way. Being lazy today. That's about it. Once we're done throwing out all the bugs, everybody gets to go back to sleep, which is probably what they were doing a little bit earlier. Thrilling bug toss.
Does each species of bird have a different sound?
Typically, yes. There are some similarities. Like your guineas, most of your starlings make that cat-like sound, which you just heard there. It kind of sounds like a little cat call. The bustard, this little buff-crested bustard, long-legged ostrich guy, he has a couple different distinct sounds. Whistling ducks are really cool, these white-faced guys. And we have a couple around here natively, the Mexican red-bellied whistling ducks. They sound like doo-doo-doo. He was talking a little bit earlier in our chat. There's little raindrops there. Nancy's back. I have a couple little mealworms. We can see if she would like some. We try not to reward too much when she's on the ground. She got her name because she is very nosy and wants to be all up in our business. And then right here behind us, that is her mate, Drew. Because if Nancy's got a name, Drew's got to have a name too.
Jonathan would like to know if all of the birds in here eat bugs like cockroaches and worms.
Not all of them. So, like I pointed out earlier, our Bruce's green pigeon is a fruit eater. We have one of our rose rings that is eating one of the kebabs right now. So we do have a couple of parrots. We also have a pair of turacos. And that's why we put out fruit as well as bugs for everybody. So this is a rose ring parakeet. As you heard, he also has a distinct sound. Then we also have this lady, brown lady in the tree. That is a Congo Peafowl. We call her Peafowl because when we refer to a group of male and females, she is a peahen because she is a girl, but you can also have the boys as peacocks. There are actually 6 different subspecies of peafowls and peacocks. She is from the Congo of Africa, so a little bit different than what we usually think about in the blue long-tailed peacocks, because you wouldn't wear a wedding dress to run a marathon. Your species of birds are going to have different plumage depending on their environment that they live in. Our Rocco was up there a minute ago, and then we have a brown and white dove. Oh, it's getting ready to rain. The brown and white dove up there, he is a tambourine dove. They are kind of hard to see, so just keep your eye out. They're really cute, but hard to find. They're so small.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the bracelets or bands that we might see on a lot of these birds?
Yeah, of course. So the bracelets tell us kind of who is who. For example, if you look at our Congo Peafowls again, one has a purple on her left leg and one has a yellow on her right left leg. So those different colored zip ties kind of give us a distinction from far away as to who she is. So we don't have to catch her up and look at that metal band. That metal band has a specific number that connects to her health record. So I kind of explain it. If you ever go to the hospital, they give you a little bracelet, and that bracelet contains all of your health records that you would ever need. Oh, here's our violet vivacious Turako. They tend to boop around in the trees. So she's going to go up, and we have her mate way up in the tree over there. And they've been super cuddly with each other, but sometimes they do fight with each other. So everyone seems to be going for cover, trying to find things out of the rain. That's why it's really funny whenever it rains here. Birds typically just sit still. We have some of our ducks around the corner. We have three species of ducks. You saw our white-faced whistling duck earlier. We also have a Madagascar teal, who is this big brown guy. And then the lighter brown, the almost gray, those are marble teals. So teals are typically smaller in stature compared to what we think of as ducks. But they are ducks, they are waterfowl. They're just a smaller version of it. So most of these animals you would see in Africa, which is why they're in our African aviary. Oh, we heard our Hadada earlier, and he's actually sitting there up on that branch there. So now you actually get to see who was making those lovely calls. A lot of times the birds actually love the rain. They will take baths, and you'll see them all floofed up. And they love to flap their wings. They'll take their bodies and just move around, because those feathers need lots of conditioning, need lots of attention for them to stay warm as well as dry whenever it stops raining. You can actually see on the ducks, the water is actually peeling, making little bubbles, kind of like when you get your car professionally cleaned. It tends to bead off of them really nicely. That's another reason why we don't want to touch the animals, because our oils can counteract and strip those oils off of those feathers. So we want to look, and we can wave high, but we want to make sure that they stay warm and dry in conditions especially like today.
All right, Kayla, we have a couple of questions for you.
Go for it.
Daniel would like to know, are there any specific species of birds in this aviary that are breeding?
Yes, actually, our Hadada ibises are trying to breed. However, Dad has decided he loves his daughter, so we have to kind of dissuade that a little bit. But our most exciting thing is we have our violet vivacious Turakos that had a chick last year. It was their first chick that they had, so he didn't make it very far. But this is a new male, younger male, so we are very hopeful that they will have lots of successful hatchings. And our female is also pretty young as well, so we're hoping for a young juvenile, hopefully soon. Our Vasas, we are trying to breed our Vasa parrots, but they are very particular. And so trying to get Nancy to mate up with Drew has been problematic this year, but we are working on it, and hopefully we will have some soon. Our starlings are pretty self-sustaining. You can see above here, underneath this heat lamp over here, we have nesting box sites. We have had a couple different breeds of starlings come out of the aviary. We have over 70 starlings of the 6 species that I mentioned before. So we have a lot of them, and they are doing great in here.
Does anybody ever eat any of the plants that grow here in the aviary? That question's coming from Martin.
Not particularly. Ducks have a tendency to eat the grasses and stuff, so we have tried grass in here, which the animals really enjoy eating. But as far as the tree plants, we have a lot of things that pretty much are well established, and so not very tasty, I guess.
Can you tell some of our viewers, if they were to go to a park or see ducks out in the wild, what are some things, common mistakes that people make in feeding them? And if they wanted to go to a park and feed a duck or some of the native birds, what should they be bringing with them?
That is a great question. So I mentioned earlier, crickets are a big fave for our ducks here at the zoo. They do also enjoy cut up grape slices as well as mealworms. So I know not everybody has mealworms and crickets at their house, but everybody typically takes a couple grapes along with them, or some lettuce. Some lettuce is also a really good thing to take for them. What we don't want to feed the ducks especially is bread, because there's no bread tree in the wild. Bread is something that we as humans have made and do enjoy, and while it is delicious and nutritious for us, it's almost like a donut for the ducks. So if we ate donuts every single day, it would not be very good and healthy for us. So we want to make sure our ducks and our waterways stay very healthy, and if we feed appropriate things, that will help them that way. Finch mix or bird seed at your local store is another good thing to feed local native small songbirds and stuff. But just do your research. See what's around and see what you can find. I know there's pet stores, and so mealworms are pretty popular and pet food. So you see our rollers are all tucked up under this little signage here. They make a really cool sound. It's almost like a little so they're pretty cute. And we have tried to breed these guys as well. So we're trying to offer lots of different nest sites during breeding season. It's almost that time, but not quite. So we're still monitoring everybody's reproduction and stuff.
2 more questions. One is coming from Izzy, and Izzy would like to know, how many individuals and species do you have in the aviary right now?
Right now we probably have over 25 to 30 species, but then we have over probably 100 individuals. Like I said earlier, there's probably at least 50 starlings in here, and then if you count all our little individuals, it probably gets up to 100. So it's a fairly large 2-story aviary that we have, and we have multiple trees, large trees that everybody can go to. So everybody pretty gets along and finding their own little area that they like to hang out with. So, yeah.
All right, well, now that everyone's getting so vocal, we've got one last question. This is coming from Damien, and you are going to be the spotlight. Damien would like to know, what is your favorite bird call, and can you replicate it for us?
Oh man, that is so hard.
You've done so many good ones.
I have done some good ones. I don't know. I think it's probably in here. It's probably the ha-da-da-da, and it's like ha-da-da-da. I don't know. I just really like that one. They're just so good. There's a roller for you. Perfect. You're gonna talk. You tell him. Yeah. So that's the cool thing about birds, is that they are always doing something, always vocalizing. I would encourage you, anytime you come back, when you come back to the San Antonio Zoo, when we open back up, don't write off the birds, hang out with them, spend 10 minutes, and then find a bird that you like. Do some research at home. See, we have a full list of the birds that we have on our website. Visit our website. We might have some cool things coming out, so make sure you keep in touch with that. And just post on our social media. If you have any questions, we love to hear back from our fans. It's what makes this job worth it, and what makes it fun to stand out in the rain and do stuff like this. So, thank you guys for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed our little video today.